cancellation that I'm referring to was actually going to be a very, very good fight. I was really excited to watch it. It was going to be on UFC 246. Grant Dawson versus Chaz Skelly has been canceled. Grant Dawson posted this on his social media earlier today. He said it was canceled due to things out of his control. I'm not necessarily sure what that means. I don't know if it's a family thing.
Steroids.
Very possible. I mean, hey, that's the go-to. That was my favorite.
Steroids.
That was my favorite thing, and I guess we could talk about it later when we bring up Holly Holm, was when she did cancel her bout against Raquel Pennington that was going to be in Australia. She didn't say she had a leg injury or had a foot injury. She canceled the fight to undisclosed lower body injury. Like, the more vague you get, the more we all just think it's steroids of some type. But again, that's just because it's MMA, and I'm sorry, all of your favorite fighters are likely on steroids. But you know what?
My brother was a fighter. He was on steroids. I saw a lot of motherfuckers on steroids. Nate Diaz, your favorite fighter, he says they're on steroids. Motherfuckers are on steroids.
Dude, did you hear what probably happened with him? Remember how before the last fight he got in trouble for having a SARM in his system? So he invested heavily in a supplement company. He's either they gave him a piece of it to be the face of it, or it's actually his whole company. But the vegan multivitamin that they came out with, USADA just put that on the banned substance.
The banned substances?
Yeah, but like a suspicious substance, like it's not officially on there, but like that some of the bottles have popped for the same exact SARM that he popped for. So I'm sorry, just throwing that was a little off the cuff, but I'm sorry, I just laughed hysterically when I heard that today. But either way, Grant Dawson versus Chaz Skelly was going to be a great scrap, but we'll actually move on to the actual preview of UFC 246. Okay, this may not be the most stacked card, but one thing I will say as I was making our notes for today is it's got some good names at least. Like, I could actually recognize the vast majority of names on the entire card, and I for sure know everyone on the main card, which, for those of you who don't know, there's plenty of cards where most even diehard MMA fans can't do that. The first fight we're going to talk about is Askarov. He is currently a minus 135 favorite over one-time title challenger in this flyweight division here, Tim Elliott. He is plus 115. Askarov is coming off a split draw to Brandon Moreno. We were on Moreno in that particular fight, and I was nothing but surprised at how Askarov performed. I was utterly impressed because I think of Brandon Moreno, I know Mike does, very highly. So to compete against him that well and arguably win that fight has done a lot to selling me towards him, and I've gone back and watched more of his fights more in depth, and I've probably rewatched that draw fight quite a few times because it's very entertaining. That was only about 3.5 months ago. Didn't sustain any injuries. He's ready to go back at it. Tim Elliott, however, is coming off a first round submission loss to Davison Figueiredo. Mike was on Figueiredo there. It was a good win for us in the first round. Quick sub. Actually, Davison Figueiredo is now going to fight Joseph Benavidez after that fight for the vacant 125 strap. That was Tim Elliott's first fight in almost 2 years, like a month or two shy of that, after having a torn ACL. 125 has always been a very hard weight class for Elliott to consistently make, so it's going to be death's door to make that yet again for him. He has looked like utter garbage recently, and I'm sorry. I know that is harsh, and we probably shouldn't say that to fighters because I know I'm not a fighter, and I know Davison Figueiredo is a great fighter, but one of the main reasons, if you go back to that show, that I backed off and didn't want to bet Figueiredo is because I didn't know what kind of Elliott would show up, how he would come back after his ACL repair and all of that. I mean, he's at a good camp. He is at the camp with James Krause where he's coaching, and he's a great coach, but I don't know. Tim Elliott just has always been, he's a great scrambler, but by doing so puts himself in bad positions. And I just see Askarov muscling him, controlling, not allowing him to go for scrambles. And I don't think he even has as fast as scrambles now that his knee is nowhere near where it was. I'm going to go ahead and spill the beans on this. I have a bet on Askarov, the minus 135 to win 1 unit. I'm also going to pass to Mike, and I know Mike has it as part of a bet. But Mike, how do you feel about Askarov versus the one-time title challenger, Tim Elliott?
Oh, I'm excited to watch this fight. There's going to be a lot of cool transitions and little scrambles until what I believe is Tim Elliott's just going to get either submitted or flatlined. but it's going to be a fun fight to watch because Elliot does give his all every single time he gets in the octagon. And so I'm excited to see Askarov again because him last time versus Brandon Moreno, when they did the draw, it was an amazing fight. It could have went either way like it did, and that's why it was a draw. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him put on a performance versus a scrub.